Big day in Congress, first official day, the 118th one, and everybody was getting sworn in. Up in the Senate, Mitch McConnell once again confirmed, and he has now become the longest running leader of at least the GOP. I'm not entirely sure if it's of both parties, but I've seen something like that, and that's really not all that significant, okay? But the most important thing is what I've seen right here with old Feder Troll. Well, and shout out Drew Hernandez, good reporter, hell of a great journalist, somebody that I wholeheartedly support. But as he has captioned right here, I seen it from somebody else. I couldn't find the original one that I seen when all of this stuff was first coming out. But as he puts it, Federneck looks lost and coached, Biden 2.0, and that's exactly what I see. I'm not going to play with any sound or anything like that, and don't have to worry about at least this getting copyrighted, but because it's on C-SPAN and shit like that. But there you have, okay, that's his wife in the middle, who at this fucking point in time, just put the bitch in the fucking Senate for Christ's sakes, okay? You guys so desperately want her to be there, okay? She's right by his side. The motherfucker is just staring off into the balcony at this point in time. He has no idea what the fuck is going on. If you just want her to be there, just swear her in instead, okay? It's like, oh my god, it's so fucking pathetic, because you take a look at this guy. He's just, he's standing there with his hands crossed, just like, oh yeah, I think these are all my kids, I think. I'll just smile for the picture. There's already special precautions put in place for him in the Senate, okay? You cannot communicate with him through a normal means. There's going to need to be a translator, and there he does. He just does the old fucking shuffle. Meanwhile, Kamala's just waiting in to swear in the next fucking round of dorks that are going to be up there. So congratulations on that one. You guys really pushed a fucking winner. Yuck. At least Oz can carry a conversation. He wouldn't have been any better. He just would have been another one of those fucking rhinos. But that was the big conclusion in the Senate. Okay, but down there at the House, and as much as if you guys have been around for a while, not a fan of Tim Pool. He was a big inspiration in starting this channel because I thought I could do it better. I still think that he's a narcissistic dick, but whatever, man. Shout out to him for actually, pushing back on this stuff. House adjourns with no speaker. Yeah, there's no official Speaker of the House because a small contingent of good, freedom-loving, America First Republicans are refusing to vote for Kevin McCarthy. I do appreciate that quite a fucking bit, because Kevin McCarthy, he's better than Mitch McConnell, but then that's like saying getting stabbed is better than getting shot. It's not much of a fucking difference, the same outcome, okay? He's still a rhino, he's still a capitulating bitch, okay? The fact that they're holding this up at least for another day to run through another vote, it's funny, right? Because everybody in the House votes for the Speaker of the House. It's allegedly the way it goes, okay? I'm not entirely sure about the ins and outs of this stuff, okay? I just cover United States politics as a Canadian. I don't know specifically the ins and outs of that stuff, but the entire Democratic caucus, every single Democrat that's down there, okay, voted for Hakeem Jeffries, 212, 214 over and over again. They were 100%, on the same page when it came to that stuff. On the 3 different votes that they held, 3 of them, they have to get to 218, okay? They need to get to a majority in order for there to be an official speaker. I think I seen, okay, on a couple of different occasions, just cresting the 200 for McCarthy. The rest of them are going down there for Jim Jordan, and I'm a big fucking Jim Jordan fan. I think he would be an excellent Speaker of the House, but we're going to have to wait until at least tomorrow to figure some stuff out. I'm sure that there's probably some screaming. There's probably some papers getting tossed right now as the GOP is caucusing. It's like, why won't you just fucking vote for me? And it's like, we don't like you. Well, fuck! So this is one of those optics plays that's out there right now for the Democrats, because it's largely symbolic, okay? But throwing all your guys' weight behind Hakeem Jeffries, this is just one of those easy W's, and then it just goes and it puts out that narrative to mass media right now. Oh, look at that, there's civil war in the GOP. The Democrats, they kind of forestalled that from actually happening. Remember when Nancy Pelosi was up to be nominated again for her final term in 2020, where, oh, the squad isn't going to vote for her until they had those closed door meetings. And then AOC just voted, I'll just vote for Nancy Pelosi, even though none of my policies are going to end up, getting advanced by this decision. I have to, through gritted teeth, I have to vote for her. It's like that bitch does nothing in the fucking house other than fundraise. And that's why she's going to have a job in Washington, D.C. for as long as she fucking wants. I hope she runs in 2024 for president. But you know what? Hey, man, a boy can only dream for so long. It's an easy optics win for the Democrats to continue to vote 100% everybody who's there for Hakeem Jeffries. It doesn't mean fuck all. But then on the other side, if the Republicans appear divided, okay, well, that's good for people who want the party to catch up with the times and embrace the populist side of the party. Oh, it's just ammunition for media that's all too willing to shit on the Republican Party. But here's another topic that they aren't going to talk on. Okay, I already gave you the headline of what's going to be going out tonight on the evening news. Here's something that they're totally going to miss. And why you guys have to go with this? Why is this the thumbnail? Okay, we got another drop. 2023's first round of the Twitter files. What do we got right here from Matt Taibbi? It's so new, I don't even have a write-up, okay? I don't even know what the fuck we're going to be talking about. All I know is that there's the first release and the first of a 30 some odd point thread, and we'll just run it down, okay? All I know is the title, okay? Twitter and the FBI belly button. So how the deep state got into the old regime at Twitter. Interesting, okay? And this is something that has a lot to say about a bunch of things, because even going back, and it's been a minute, it's been about a week since we talked about the Twitter files, so we know that so many different entities inside the deep state, FBI, DHS, DNI, CIA, anybody who wanted access could get access, not just from Twitter, but from every single big tech corporation that's out there. So these are significant, but mass media, nothing. They don't want to touch this shit with a fucking 45-foot pole, okay? They wouldn't even be caught dead talking about any of this stuff. Not Fox, not CNBC, not MSNBC, nobody wants to talk about this stuff. So in order for you to hear about the Twitter files, you got to either search them out for yourself, or you rely on some people who you actually put some sort of trust behind in order to give you the straight information. And I appreciate it if you decide to make that person me in this case. So I'm gonna do you as best as I can, ladies, and we'll just peer the source material on this one, shall we? So what do we got, Matt? By 2020, Twitter was struggling with the problem of public and private agencies bypassing them and going straight to the media with a list of suspect accounts. Okay, in February of 2020, as COVID broke out, the Global Engagement Center, a fledgling analytic and intelligence arm of the State Department, went to the media with a report called "Russian Disinformation Apparatus." Boy, doesn't that seem trite at this point? Well, everything we don't like is Russian disinformation. Remember when the conspiracy theorists out there said that you're going to have to provide the links between Russia and this situation right here in order to call it Russian disinformation? Oh, you're a Putin apologist. You're just a pro-Russian bot. And it's like, okay, cool. Anytime that you've seen Russian disinformation put out there as a disclaimer on any story that was out there, you just knew that it was probably true, because this whole Russian disinformation fucking shit had been running since at least 2015. So by that time, by 2020, it was like, this is 5 years old. At this point in time, we're still hearing it because hashtag stand with Ukraine. Anyways, yeah, they called this report the Russian Disinformation Apparatus taking advantage of coronavirus concerns. You just need a longer title next time around, okay? There's what they have right there. So it's interesting. So this was before there was a pandemic officially declared. Remember the early days? Oh, that was such a nice time. Feels like a lifetime ago at this point. But yeah, what does this report say? The Global Engagement Center, the GEC. What type of globalist shit dicks are these guys? Haven't heard of them before. Maybe I have. It just doesn't ring a bell. Through the coordination of a trusted partner, track the global activity of Russian state-linked false personas and proxies, which often push disinformation and propaganda. Coronavirus has been a top subject of these accounts since the 24th of January. Coronavirus as the topic has been propagated by these Russian-linked accounts. I seem to remember Russia in the early days of the pandemic kind of just, paying the whole virus no fucking mind. It's like, we don't care. You guys go ahead, do whatever you want. We'll test whenever we test. Don't worry about it. If people die, they die. Pretty basic, if you ask me, but moving right along. The GEC flagged accounts as Russian personas and proxies. Yeah, but I thought you guys are global. You should be paying attention to everybody. Oh, just, some places are a little bit less global than others, I guess. Based on criteria like describing the coronavirus as an engineered bioweapon. Oh, no, it can't. Remember, guys, this was back in February of 2020. Wet markets, hey, man, that's definitely where it came from. 1,000%. Make sure that you wipe down all the surfaces and that it transmits through the air. Don't worry about it. Okay, we'll eventually catch you up with everything that we already know about it once we check the receipts down at the Wuhan lab. Blaming research conducted at the Wuhan Institute. No, shut up. That's evil. Bad. Boo. And attributing the appearance of the virus to the CIA. Well, that's a new one. Holy. Is that kind of like how Harlem got hooked on heroin in the 20s? Interesting. Blame the CIA on that one. Okay. State also flagged accounts that retweeted news that Twitter banned the popular U.S. Zero Hedge. Oh, okay. Zero Hedge? Oh, man. I remember back when they were called, What Would Tyler Durden Do? Anyways, claiming the episode led to another flurry of disinformation narratives. Zero Hedge had done reports speculating that the virus had a lab origin. Interesting. Very interesting. Okay. So I guess a Zero Hedge was on that early. The GEC still led directly to news stories like the AFP's headline, Russia-linked disinformation campaign led to the coronavirus alarm, US says, and the Politico story about how Russian, Chinese, Iranian disinformation narratives echo one another. Cool. But can't a broken clock be right twice a day? Oh, no, we don't want to recognize that at all. Shut up. It's Russian, it's Chinese, it's bad. Unless, of course, you're the Bidens, then they just make excellent business partners. We're happy to work with you directly on this. Instead of NBC, Yoel Roth, my man, once again, this dude, you wonder why he was turfed? It makes perfect fucking sense. I tried in vain to convince outside researchers like the Clemson lab to check with them before pushing stories about foreign interference in the media. Twitter was also trying to reduce the number of agencies with access to Roth. If those folks are like the House Homeland Committee and DHS, once we give them direct contact with Yoel, they will want to come back to him again and again. Okay. I see what's going on here. When the State Department, the GEC, remember this was 2020 during the Trump administration, wanted to publicize the list of 5,500 accounts and claimed it would amplify Chinese propaganda and disinformation about the coup, Twitter analysts were beside themselves. It's like, oh my God, we can go ahead and bypass the White House? Just fucking beating off their 2-inch cranks. The GEC report appeared based on DHS data. Nothing based about this at all, except for the reporting on it, outing these fools. Circulated earlier that week and included accounts that followed 2 or more Chinese diplomatic accounts. That could just be like a journalist account that's out there. Okay, so what are the Russians talking about? What are several Congress members back home talking about? Okay, what are the Chinese talking about? Gone. No, can't be doing any of that stuff. See, clearly we got links out here and we can't be having any of that. They ended up with a list of nearly 25,000 names long, including Canadian officials and a CNN account. See, I didn't even know that, and there it is. Holy. Roth saw GEC move as an attempt by the GEC to use intel from other agencies to insert themselves into the content moderation club that included Twitter, Facebook, the FBI, DHS, and others. It's just so nice that they're all linked together. See, big tech and the deep state together and better than ever, just like peanut butter and chocolate. It's the combination you didn't know that you wanted, but you definitely need. Fucking yuck. Now, GEC was soon agreeing to the loop in Twitter before going public, but they were using a technique that had boxed in Twitter before. The delta between when they share material and when they go to the press continues to be problematic, wrote one communications officials. Interesting. The episode led to a rare public disagreement between Twitter and state officials. Oh lordy, what do we got here? Okay, so Twitter disputes We can just go ahead. We'll go full screen on this one. Fuck it. We'll do it live. Put it out on Twitter. Twitter disputes. The State Department claims China coordinated coronavirus disinformation accounts. And then later, State Department China working with Russia to spread coronavirus disinformation. Oh my God. How could we possibly have that? Moving ahead, it makes sense to push back the GEC participation in this forum. Wow, somebody was smart about this stuff, and that's why they've been censored out of it. That makes sense. Facebook, Google, and Twitter executives were united in opposition to GEC's inclusion. Okay, with ostensible reasoning, including the GEC's mandate to offensive I.O. to promote American interests. Huh, interesting. Okay, so a deeper reason was a perception like that unlike the DHS and FBI, which were apolitical. Bruh. As Roth put it, the GEC was political. Oh, but not the good type of political, I guess. Which the Twitter-ees appeared to be partisan code. I think they thought the FBI was less Trumpy, is how one former DOD official put it. Wow. Because they were trying to have a nuanced take back in 2020. Okay, at least the early stages of 2020. You just need to get rid of that stuff, okay? We can't have them in here. Holy, we got one state actor. We don't need 14 of them. After spending years rolling over for Democrat Party requests through actions on Russian-linked accounts, Twitter was suddenly playing tough. Why? Because, as Roth put it, it would pose major risks to bring the GEC in, especially as the election heats up. Listen, if we're going to be fucking around with any of this stuff, we don't need the interference of another 3-letter agency. Listen, we have so many that are around here. It's going to be so tough in order to keep everybody straight. We already have C's, we have E's. Okay, we might have another G, but that's fine. We got F's and C's and I's and A's. Don't worry about any of that stuff. But you got a lot of L's after these Twitter files have been released. Suck on it. Senior lawyer Stacia Cardile. Oh, man, it's been a minute. How you been? How was your New Year, sweetie? Tried to argue against the GEC's inclusion to the FBI. The words resonated with Elvis Chan, not Laura, with Agent Elvis Chan, not Foreign Influence Task Force Unit Chief Laura Demlau. There's some other names that we all know all too well recently. I'm going to go ahead and jump ahead a bit because now it's getting into the weeds. Roth reached out to Chan with concerns about letting the press happy GEC in, expressing hope that they could keep this circle of small trust. Also, the GEC was trying to be transparent with what they were doing, and Twitter was like, no, we can't be having that. No, that's terrible. State, NSA, CIA, Chan reassured him would be the one-way channel for the state. GEC, NSA, CIA have expressed interest in being allowed on a listen mode only. So listen, we want access to shit. We won't say much. All we want to do is just, all we want to do is just pay attention to what you guys are doing. Okay, we're not going to do anything about it. We just, want to have an open line of communication, as it were. The belly button. Sorry, what? We can give you everything we're seeing from the FBI and the USIC agencies, Chan explained, with the DHS agency, CISA. We'll know what's going on in each state. He went on to ask if the industry could rely on the FBI to be the belly button of USG. What the fuck are we talking about here? Sounds good. I'll likely be able to establish one signal channel for the FBI San Francisco and one for FBI HQ. The FITF unit chiefs want a channel, provide any companies, command posts, shift rosters, shift on any given day. Facebook had mentioned activating a signal channel before the first presidential debate. Excuse me, the fuck is going on? We want to go ahead and, we just need to moderate any of the communications going on before, like the first debate, the one that got somewhere in the stratosphere of 28 million views, I think, on television, on cable networks. I think that's what it was. It could have been more than that, but it seems to make sense with me. Holy, okay. And that was everybody, right? Like, that was Facebook wanting to get in with everybody else who's already been pre-established. Okay. They eventually settled on an industry qualify as signal. In an impressive display of operational security, Chan circulated private numbers of each company's chief moderation officer in a Word document marked signal phone numbers, list of numbers, of course, yeah, all that shit, you know. They also received an astonishing variety of requests from officials asking for individuals they didn't like to be banned. Here, the Office of the Democrat and House Intel Committee Chief Adam Schiff asked Twitter to ban journalist Paul Sperry. Sorry, what? Adam Schiff, old fucking bug eyes, Mr. Russiagate himself, asking to ban journalist Paul Sperry. I gotta read this in full because this is some shit. Okay, so highly redacted shit right here. Okay, came through on November 12th of 2020. I met with blank from PP and yeah, PP and Adam Schiff, lol, and he flagged the attached analysis from the House Permanent Select Intelligence Committee, Representative Adam Schiff's office, for your review and feedback related to alleged harassment from QAnon conspiracy theorists against staffer. I would like to get your thoughts, if any, support on this request. Of note, from SP Sperry, okay, has reviewed the request and consulted with blank from SI. Below are the initial feedback requests. Remove any and all contact from Mr. Misko and other committee staff from its service to include quotes, retweets, reactions to that content. No, this isn't feasible. We don't do this, but that's what they wanted. Schiff's office wanted, by the way. Suspend any accounts, including Greg Ubini and Paul Sperry, which have reportedly promoted false QAnon conspiracies and harassed Schiff. Maybe, I'm not entirely sure. We'll review these accounts again, but I believe blank mentioned only one actually qualified for suspension. Interesting. Promoted. Oh, I hate this guy so much, but nothing about. Okay, where's the other side of this argument? Listen, people associated with Adam Schiff constantly call everything that they don't like Russian propaganda. Can we go ahead and get those accounts restricted? No calls for that. Oh, okay, cool. Suppress any and all search results about blank and other committee staff. No, we don't do this. It is. Oh, if it is related to QAnon, it should already be de-amplified. Pause. There's another omission right there. Twitter. Oh, we don't do anything about that stuff. We don't have blacklists. We don't de-amplify anything. There it is in fucking writing, black and white. Committee staff who are not public figures and who were not central actors in impeachment inquiry in the 2020 presidential election. Why do you want to tie those two things together? It's just interesting. No, we don't have a general misinformation policy. And it's like, can you go ahead and type that up? And it's like, sure, we'll go right on it. Label and reduce the visibility of any content about blank that Twitter does not remove for the reasons cited above. And no, we do not do this. Interesting. Okay, no, we don't do this. Even Twitter declined to honor Schiff's request. We already ran through all that shit, so need not walk over that well-trodden ground. But it's actually pretty important if we're going to be 1000% serious about this, mostly for the fact that a sitting member of Congress was specifically calling for people to be suppressed, not the nefarious DNC was trying to censor James Woods, okay, faceless, nameless organization. This time around, we have two specific actors. Adam Schiff, Paul Sperry. Adam Schiff was trying to leverage the power of his office to censor journalists. This is pretty fucking significant, but no. Everybody's just going to talk about, oh, the Republicans are so divided, they can't pick a speaker. Bro, this is the big shit right here. Twitter honored almost everyone else's requests, even those from the GEC, including a decision to ban accounts like Rebel Protest and Bricks Media, two of which are still suspended. I'd imagine that's going to change very quickly because GEC identified them as GRU-controlled. Fuck is GRU controlled? We're gonna get some information on that. GRU directed sites, government Russia. I'd imagine it probably has something to do with the governmental Russian controlled. Is that what that would be? Okay, and linked to the Russian government respectively. That makes sense. GEC requests were what a former CIA staffer working with Twitter was referring to. Just former co-workers working for the agency. Our window on that is closing, meaning the days when Twitter could say no to serious requests were over. Okay, so the GEC was getting iced out. That's a different agency. I don't know. We haven't seen anything about ICE yet. Okay, remembering the 2017 internal guidance in which Twitter decided to remove any user identified by the U.S. intelligence community as a state-sponsored entity committing cyber operations by 2020, such identifications came in bulk. Holy. USIC requests often simply began "we assess" and then provided lists, sometimes in separate Excel documents, they believed were connected from Russia's Internet Research Agency and committing cyber ops from Africa to South America to the United States. Holy, so this was a worldwide event. One brief report sent right after Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Oh, we're just jumping ahead in this timeline real quickly. Early last year, flagged major Russian outlets like Vendomosti, and the Gazeti.ru. Note the language about state actors fits Twitter's internal guidance. Interesting. And then also TASS agency and Getzaru. Those are totally different, I guess. Some reports were just paragraph long. Things like, these are mean, they're Russian, I don't like them. The attached email accounts were possibly used for influence operations, social media collection, and other social engineering. Okay, cool. Now do China. They were even warned about publicity surrounding the book by former Ukraine prosecutor Viktor Shokin. Oh, but don't worry about that. That's the guy that Biden got clipped, who alleged corruption by the United States government, specifically by Joe Biden. Yep, there he is right there. By the weeks before the election in 2020, Twitter was so confused by the various streams of incoming requests, staffers had to be asked by the FBI which was which. Hi Elvis, something different in the information signal channel, bases covered. Okay, wow. Holy fuck, there was so much shit going on. Listen, we can only censor so many people in one specific channel. You gotta give us some fucking time. I apologize in advance for your workload. Requests poured from the FBI offices all over the country, day after day, hour after hour, minute after minute, second after second. If Twitter didn't act quickly, questions came. Was action taken? Any movement? Of course, feds being feds. Of course, wrote senior attorney Stacia Cardile. My inbox is really fucked up at this point. Jesus fucking Christ. It all led to a situation described by Michael Schellenberger 2 weeks ago in which Twitter was paid $3,415,323 from the FBI. Cut Twitter a check, by the way, if y'all remember, essentially for being an overwhelmed subcontractor. Twitter wasn't just paid for the amount of work they did for the government. They were underpaid. Yeah, man. I legitimately don't even know what to say, really, because this one right here, well, I think they kind of buried the lead. It's like, yeah, we know the FBI was working hand in hand with Twitter and all that shit, but you have a sitting member of Congress, a high-ranking member of Congress, actively calling to censor people. Yeah, that's a smoking gun. Okay, that would on any other day. Okay, on a normal day with normal media, and here I am thinking out there in the ether. I might as well just say that I'm thinking about this because of my star sign. Just how fucking stupid it would sound. But if anybody was talking about that shit, no, but you can already see just polling on this, things that are trending on the side. I'm going to be talking about the Damar Hamlin stuff next, but Trudeau, no idea unless he dropped dead. I don't give a fuck. He's a Democrat, probably in reference to Hakeem Jeffries, and then House of Representatives, 43,000 tweets. 43,000 tweets. And this right here, I don't know, man. This is like what? Twitter files number 11. No, it's not nearly going to get as much coverage. It's not nearly as salacious as, oh my god, Justin Trudeau got a new haircut. Oh my god, look at how stupid he is. Hopefully he called for an election or some shit like that. But until next time, and with all that said, I thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.